So do you feel like after having rested on Tuesday, you feel like a little bit more comfortable for this weekend?
Yeah, it was definitely like I pitched in all 4 games, so my hips were tired, my back was sore, so having off on Tuesday was nice.
Well, expectations going into a big series with LA?
You know what? I think our team's gonna do perfectly fine. I'm very confident in our offense and defense. You know, we've proven that throughout the season, so I'm super excited. Pitching, you know, there's always more to work on. Any part of the game is, but I think we're gonna do fine.
Is there anything your teammates have told you, or maybe a sense that you've gotten heading up to this series with UCLA playing this particular team?
You know what? It's a big series because it's UCLA, and you know, I think we just keep on focusing. We don't really worry about the name on the front, but you know, the crowd's gonna be different, the environment's gonna be different. We're gonna be in California, it's gonna be nice and warm, hopefully. So, looking at that, I think it's normal. It also is packed play, so it's also exciting, and you know, playing the UCLA is up there, so it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be a good series.
Speaking of excitement, if you guys win, you obviously set a record for the best start to a season. Does that add any excitement to it? Is that something that you guys kind of get up for?
You know, it is exciting if we do it. It's not something that we look forward to. You know, we're not trying to hit that goal. We're just going out there and playing our best every game and hoping for the best.
Do you find yourself asking more questions perhaps than someone who comes from the West Coast, or do you find yourself asking a lot of questions to Mike over text and that kind of stuff?
No, not really. I think me coming from the East, I think it's much bigger than a lot of people. I think it's much different than playing on the West Coast. And coming out here and playing from the East Coast is pretty exciting because I feel like my ball is different than people that teach differently on the West Coast. So I think it's a different variety. So maybe that's one of the things that have made me successful because they're not used to my style of throwing.
Have you kind of stayed connected to your family? Obviously, family seemed like a big thing, and talking to your dad, it seems like a lot of FaceTime calls. Yeah.
Yes. Every day I get a FaceTime call. Like right before practice, my brother was FaceTiming me. I'm like, "Why aren't you in school?" And he's like, "It is school. We're out." I'm like, "Oh, that's right. It's a different time zone." But no, they're awesome. My family's so supportive. You know, my grandparents. I call them after every series. I call them, and they always, you know, they're like my motivators. Like they're always talking. You know, grandparents. They're always speaking you so high. There's never any like doubts or anything. And they're like, "Yeah, we stopped going to church on Sundays." I'm like, going to church on Sundays, that's kind of a big deal because, you know, old elders like to go to church. And I'm like, if you're missing church on Sunday, that must mean it's pretty big. So they're like, now, like, that's like the new thing every weekend. They just sit on the couch and they just watch softball. So I'm like, that's so cool. You know, it's a new hobby for them, and it's so supportive. All my family members are awesome.
They have to get a new TV package then, or?
Yes, they did, you know, and then they had to learn how to work the electronics with the computer, and that is just comical. So, yeah, no, they're good, though.
Are they going to be able to get to watch you out in person here?
You know what? My grandmother has never flew, and she's like one of those people paranoid, so I don't know. I'm hoping maybe she'll come out and surprise me, but I hope she does.
Schedule a home and home with Delaware.
Yes, exactly. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I really do hope we go out maybe more East Coast than Missouri, like they said. Maybe like Maryland or something the next couple of years, so they can come watch me. But
Oklahoma City's not a bad place.
No, not either. So I'm like throwing them in a car and say, "You're good. Let's go."
Do they ever give you critique when you're on the phone? They watch you, comment, say what happened here or there?
No, my grandfather. It's funny because he watched Game Changer, and then my grandmother, she watched the TV, and I guess Game Changer's a little bit faster than the result on the TV. So my grandfather's like, "Oh, she got her out. She took her out," and my grandmother's yelling at him, "Don't tell me what happened." So like it's like comical. I'm like, oh my goodness, you two sit in the house together. It must be pretty entertaining. But no, they're awesome.
How do you feel like Coach White has kind of helped you with your changeup this year? Do you feel like it's taken a big stride from where you were?
You know, I really don't have a changeup. I have more of a variety of different speeds in my pitches this season. My rise ball is a lot slower than it was coming in due to the fact that I worked on my spin a lot more, so it's rotating a lot. And my hard stuff is hitting my corners like I need to. So I've been really focusing on those two aspects of changing my speeds, because when we came in the fall and they looked at my speeds, everything was around the same speed. And they're like, you need some difference here. So I have 3 different speeds at 3 different locations. So I think that's definitely played a big toll.
Do you still have, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Mike said that leaving fall ball and entering the season, he thought there was the pieces here to be something good because the recruiting class and what was coming back. But was there a point at all since the season began where you thought this is actually turning into something maybe more than we even expected?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, everyone, I think the media and people were really doubting the 2 freshmen coming in, and that's normal to do, and that's fine, and especially having sophomore. I think we're kind of surprising people, like, wow, these freshmen kind of know what they're doing, or kind of just figuring out what we're doing, and I think our class is very strong. I think I'm very impressed with our class, especially in the classroom, in the weight room, and on the softball field. We carry ourselves very highly, and I think that's different than most programs, and I think that's what's definitely changing. And I think we set a high standard for the next incoming recruiting class, that this is where it's at, and you guys gotta hit it. So I think we definitely put the pieces together, and we're still putting the pieces together, but it's going good.
Are you surprised at all about how things are going? I mean, this is a pretty incredible start. This doesn't happen every season. I mean, is there any part of you at all like, wow, this is big time?
Yeah, I do. I try not to think about it too much. I think about it every game because I don't want to look too far ahead and think, oh, you know, when you start questioning yourself. I'm just thinking every series is opening day. You know, that's my ride this year. I don't know if you ever hear me in the dugout, I'm screaming opening day every day. But no, can't pay attention. But you know, I think we have a good chance of going to Oklahoma in this year, and that's exciting to see, especially as a freshman in our freshman class, and our team's working really hard. So.
Did you get a good sense of UCLA though, being back east? Do you understand, like, you know, how they've done in recent years?
Actually, not really, because I kind of came here late to the pack when I committed here. So I'm not as big as in the rivalry that they are against UCLA. So I'm kind of like getting the gist every day of what happens and how it rolls. So I know in the summer we were doing sprints, and it was like 90 degrees around the turf, and one of the girls was like, "Oh, this is for UCLA," and we just kept on saying, "Oh, this is time for UCLA." So we've been pounding our head since the first month we've been here. So playing UCLA is just going to be playing any other game. Yep. Thanks, guys.